Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow, in science, tech, and art skills flow. Classroom pride to make us survive. Ease opening minds, the future shine. Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow, in science, tech, and art skills flow. From classroom pride to make us survive.
This podcast is produced by EASE, the European network of STEAM educators, uniting STEAM educators from Europe and all over the world. This product may contain traces of artificial intelligence inside. Join us and find a handful of educational resources at easeeducators.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready to dive into something that's changing faster than, like a teenager's mood.
Haha, always a moving target.
It's AI, and specifically how it's impacting childhood. We talk a lot about screen time, but AI is way bigger. It's kind of like it's woven into everything for kids these days, even if we don't realize it.
Yeah, it's not just sitting back watching cartoons anymore. It's AI-powered educational apps, the ones that adapt to how a kid learns. Or even just smart toys that react to every little giggle. AI is becoming a playmate, a tutor, sometimes even like a confidant.
Okay, so to unpack this, we dug into a bunch of research, right? Academic papers, opinions from those child development experts, tech people, you name it. And the thing they all agree on is AI is going to be huge for kids. It'll impact how they learn, how they play, even how they talk to each other.
And this isn't a fad like some tech things that come and go. Generative AI, or Gen AI, like you hear some folks call it, that's the heart of all this. It can create stuff, actually create.
Yeah.
Stories, music, even computer code, just like a person can.
It's mind-blowing when you really think about it. I remember reading an article, I think it was about an AI, that wrote an entire movie script. It seemed like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
But it's happening right now.
Right, and it's all happening so fast. That's part of why this conversation is so important, especially because it's impacting these young minds, this generation, who will grow up with AI like we grew up with, I don't know, TV or something. But it's way more interactive.
It's exciting, but a little scary too, right? How do we even start to get kids ready for a future that's so different from anything we've seen before?
It's what keeps a lot of the experts up at night, honestly. The biggest problem is AI is going faster than we can figure out what it'll do long term, especially for kids. Their brains are still forming, and, well, we're just starting to get a grip on how AI might affect that whole process.
It's like giving someone this super fast car, but no driving lessons first. We're still trying to figure out the rules of the road ourselves here.
Exactly. And it really highlights why we have to be careful and urgent about this at the same time, asking the tough questions, especially about ethics, data privacy, how it affects their social skills, that emotional intelligence.
You're hitting on something super important. It's easy to get caught up in all the cool new tech stuff, but there are downsides too, or at least we have to think about them. So where do we even start unpacking all this? What are the big things about AI and kids that we need to be thinking about?
Okay, so one concept that's key is how AI interacts with the child's brain as it's developing. Experts talk about what they call sensitive periods, these moments when a kid's brain is really primed for learning certain things or being influenced by their environment.
So these sensitive periods, it's like their brains are sponges, right? Just soaking everything up.
Mm-hmm.
So where does AI fit into all of that?
Well, think about a kid right in the middle of learning how to talk, and they're interacting with like an AI assistant. They could pick up words, phrases so much faster. The AI could even be designed to help them with pronunciation, or give them age-appropriate words.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having a personal language tutor with them all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's another side to this, right? Like, it can't all be good.
Oh, for sure. So AI might help them learn some things faster, but there's a worry that it could slow down other parts of their development. Like, imagine a kid spends all their time playing with AI toys, the kind that don't really need them to, like read facial expressions or figure out social cues. They might miss out on those crucial social skills.
It's like that thing everyone worries about, Will kids even be able to tell the difference between a real friend and a digital one? And what does that do to their emotional intelligence?
Those are the million-dollar questions, really. Researchers are trying to figure that out right now. And education is another big one. On the one hand, AI could make things so personalized. Imagine AI tutors that figure out how each kid learns best and then adjust the lessons just for them.
Every teacher I know would love that. No more trying to make different plans for every kid in a class of 30.
Exactly. AI could give teachers more time to focus on the important stuff, mentoring, being creative, helping kids with their feelings, the things AI can't do. But then, of course, there's the worry about relying on technology too much.
Right, what if the internet goes out?
Mm.
Or if schools depend on AI so much that teachers, I don't know, forget how to teach the old-fashioned way?
That's a valid concern. It's really about balance. We shouldn't use AI to replace teachers, but to give them better tools, right? And it's the same for parents. They're right there on the front lines of all this AI stuff, trying to help their kids in a world that's changing so fast.
It must be tough being a parent now. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you even keep up with it all? By the time you learn about one app or game, there's a new one.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not about screen time limits anymore either. It's about talking to your kids, having those real conversations about the difference between online and real life, about staying safe online, and even about the ethics of interacting with AI, and reminding them about real-world relationships and experiences. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all figuring this out as we go, parents and, well, everyone really. But the important thing is AI itself isn't bad. It's all about how we decide to use it.
I agree 100%. Think of it like a tool, right? Any tool can be used in a good way or a bad way. The important thing is to be informed, to talk about it, and to support policies and rules that put kids first.
So instead of being scared, we should be open to the good stuff, but also realistic about the bad. And speaking of the good stuff, let's dive into some specific examples of how AI is changing the way kids learn and play.
Sounds good to me.
One area that's really interesting, and maybe a little creepy if I'm being honest, is these AI companions that are popping up. Robots and devices that kids can talk to and, have a sort of emotional connection with.
Yeah, it's definitely got people talking, both good and bad. Some experts think AI companions could be really good for kids, especially the ones who have trouble socializing or maybe live in places where they don't know a lot of other kids. I could see that. Like, imagine a kid who gets anxious a lot,
Yeah.
having an AI friend to practice talking to or just to hang out with when things are tough. That could be really helpful.
For sure. But then there's the other side. What if kids spend so much time with AI companions that they'd rather do that than hang out with real people? Will they miss out on those important social skills you learn from, well, being around other humans?
And then there are the bigger questions, right? Like the ethics of it all.
That's a huge topic. Can we even program an AI to actually care about someone? Or will it always just seem like it cares? And what happens if a kid gets really attached to an AI companion and then it breaks or there's a newer version? It's complicated.
So much to think about. It has so much potential for good, but then there are these ethical questions we're still trying to figure out.
Definitely a balancing act. And it shows why we need everyone involved. The ethicists, the child development folks, even the kids themselves. This isn't just for the tech companies and politicians to decide.
Exactly. It's up to all of us. We have to be responsible and make sure AI helps everyone, especially kids. Now, before we get to our last section, where we'll talk about some solutions and ways to deal with all this, let's recap what we've talked about.
Happy to do that.
So we've covered a ton, right? AI and how it affects kids' brains, those AI companions, the ethics of it all. It's a lot, and I'm sure some people listening are feeling a little overwhelmed.
It's understandable to feel that way. But the good news is we're all in this together, and everyone can do something to make sure AI helps kids.
Where do we even start?
Awareness is key. Just by listening to this, you're already doing it, taking the time to learn, which is huge. And then talk about it with your kids, friends, even the people who represent you. The more we talk, the better we can handle this stuff.
Yeah, knowledge is power, as they say. But it's not just about knowing how the tech works, right? It's about what we believe in and what kind of world we want for our kids.
100%. We got to ask, what do we want AI to do for our kids? How do we use the good parts and avoid the bad? And how do we make sure all kids have the same chances, even with all this new tech?
You just hit on something big. Making sure it's fair for everyone. Because we know not everyone has the same access to technology, right?
Yeah.
How do we fix that so every kid has a shot in this AI future?
It's a tough one, but there are things we can do, like pushing for laws that make the internet affordable for everyone and investing in early childhood education that teaches kids about AI, and supporting groups already working to bridge that digital divide.
So it's not a one solution kind of thing. And it's not just about spending money either, right? We have to be smart about how we do this.
Right. One size fits all just won't cut it. We got to think about what different communities need, make sure everyone gets a say in the rules, and listen to the kids too. They'll feel the effects of our decisions the most, after all.
It's true. Kids know way more about this stuff than we sometimes give them credit for. They can tell us how AI is already part of their lives and what they hope for, what worries them about the future.
Exactly. And beyond laws and policies, there's stuff we can do every day, like being good role models with how we use technology ourselves, setting limits on screen time, encouraging them to do stuff that sparks their creativity, helps them connect with others, and just makes them love learning.
Finding that balance is key. We don't want to lock them away from technology, but we got to teach them to use it wisely and that there's a whole world out there beyond the screen.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
It's about having a good relationship with tech, one that helps them without taking over. And that starts with us, parents, teachers, all of us, showing them how it's done.
So while all this is changing so fast, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, maybe even a little helpless. But we're not alone here. There are experts, organizations, even just regular people like us working hard to make AI a good thing for all kids.
And always remember, we have control. AI isn't some big, scary thing we can't do anything about. It's a tool. And how you see it, that's what matters.
That's a great point to end on. We have a choice, a voice, and a duty to use them both to build the future we want, for our kids and for their kids. Well, that was a deep dive if I've ever heard one. I don't know about you, but my brain is definitely full, in a good way, of course. We covered so much and really got into what it means to raise kids when AI is everywhere.
I always enjoy chatting about this stuff with you. And remember, folks, this isn't the end. Keep learning, keep asking those tough questions, and stay curious.
You got it. Thanks for exploring AI and childhood with us. Until next time, keep those questions coming.
Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow, in science, tech, and art skills flow. Natural pride to make us survive. Ease opening minds, so future strive. Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow, in science, tech, and art skills flow. From classroom pride to make us survive. Ease opening minds, ease opening minds, so future shine.
This podcast is produced by EASE, the European network of STEAM educators, uniting STEAM educators from Europe and all over the world. This product may contain traces of artificial intelligence inside. Join us and find a handful of educational resources at easeeducators.com.